It's called The Fifth Risk. And Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about the title of your new book. What is The Fifth Risk?
Well, aside from the title of my book, it's where it comes from. That I started this kind of wandering around the government looking for the kind of risks that the Trump administration might be ignoring. And I was in the energy department, and I was talking to the guy who manages the risk in the energy department, and I asked him, what are the top 5 risks you worry about? And he said, the electric grid going down, a nuclear weapon going off when it shouldn't, Iran and North Korea getting nuclear weapons. And I said, well, what's the fifth? And he kind of got stuck, and he said, you know, there's so many that we're not really focused on. We're so focused on those 4. So I thought of the fifth risk is kind of it's the risk you're not thinking of, and which is the one that is always the one that comes and bites you. It's sort of like the risks you're paying attention to, are the risks that are going to you're probably paying too much attention to them. And the government is filled with these sort of risks that it's managing, risks that nobody's really paying much attention to except for the handful of people inside the government who are charged with dealing with it.
What are some of the other most interesting arenas that you kind of found of other places where the government's paying attention to these risks, or maybe we wish they were?
Well, you know, what I did is I took departments that, where I thought people probably didn't know what they did or couldn't imagine they were that important, and went inside those. So the bulk of the book is inside agriculture, commerce, and energy. And take the Commerce Department, which I think most people, if you ask them what they did, they say business, but that's not at all what it does. What it really does is it's the chief data collection agency of the United States. It's got the census, and it's got the Weather Service inside of it. The Weather Service it is daily saving American lives. It is the source of all the data that provides private weather services with the information they need to predict, anything. The risk to that is that data doesn't get collected or doesn't get distributed in the right way. That data collection is constantly under threat. I mean, the census right now is at risk of not being completed properly. And if you don't have that, you don't have actually a picture of the society. So, people think of the federal government as like this giant, amorphous, boring, lazy enterprise. In fact, I think they ought to reframe it as a sort of portfolio of risks that are being managed.